The trip that we're going on is a group of people from the Australian Soil Science Society Riverina branch who are on a study tour which is funded by the GRDC, and they've come over to look at Mallee farming systems and specifically about the variability in our soil types, and also how farmers might use precision ag to manage that variability on broadacre dryland farms. And we've got a few soil pits and paddocks and machinery to look at, but we're also looking at quite a few trial sites that are being undertaken in the region. We've got some really good researchers, we've also got some agronomists, and we've also got a good range of farmers as well, both irrigated and dryland farmers that have come along to see the low rainfall Mallee environment.
The things I've learned today are pretty much seeing the differences in soils that exist in a pretty small distance. I knew there were differences in dunes and swales, but I didn't realise that the difference was so great and over such a short distance.
I've learnt that there are a lot of very clever farmers in the Mallee, and to survive in the Mallee takes a lot more management skill than it does when you're living in God's country of high rainfall, deep, well-structured soils. And what's impressed me is the level of skill that the farmers have when they're forced to make a living out of very marginal conditions. These guys really are rocket scientists who hold their own with any researcher.
I didn't think you could get the sands weren't that viable to grow things on, but it seems that I've changed my view from what I've learnt today, in that yes, they're quite deep soils, and when they're intact and they haven't been eroded, they can be quite profitable with the right inputs.
We already do some precision farming, and my family have been doing it for a few years now, and it's just reaffirming to me what they're doing is okay, because I don't actually physically do it. I am in the office, and the boys are the ones that are actually doing all the hard work.
I was quite impressed with the John Deere setup, the planting, the consistency, the uniformity. Having one system is probably the best thing for any farmer to have. It makes it easy to master one system as opposed to having multiple systems.
Yeah, probably one of the other things that is a standout from today was that exposure to collaborative farming that we saw today, which is as farm sizes tend to increase, certainly around home in Wagga, bigger farms are getting bigger and smaller farms are moving on. Perhaps the collaborative farm is another model which will enable people to stay in farming for longer than would happen without that business model in place. So that was really impressive, and certainly something to think about and maybe get people talking about back home.
The information I'll get from this trip, and certainly the contacts that I've made, is extensive. I've had a number of questions that I've come with, and most of those questions have been answered thus far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to actually the next couple of days.
Great opportunity to network amongst people, because there are people from our industry here, and we do have other farmers from the rice industry. It's also good to get to know the agronomists, and that we have quite a lot to do within the rice industry.
For someone like me and the people I'm training, if you like, as young researchers, it's critical that I have this perspective of the different soil types and climate that are within the southern region, so that I, for one at least, have a better perspective of our own research and how it fits and where the gaps are going to be.
I think we can go back and think how lucky we are. We've got it pretty easy with our soil types.
To be able to actually meet some scientists who talk English or relevant.
Farmers from around home talking with farmers from here and seeing the similarities and differences and what we can learn from each other, that's invaluable, that's very important.